Hi, Patrick here, Have Cheetah Will View, and we are here for another film review. And the movie we'll be covering today takes us back to one of our favorite spots on Eight Questions With. We are heading to the great state of Iowa to cover the 2024 film Remote. Remote was directed by Matthew Trimble, co-written by Matthew Trimble and Mark Bauer, and it stars Michael Ridley, Andromedas Ross, Elliot Bales, Annette Duffy, K. Michael Moore, and Frank Boyd. So the story is it's an interesting one. It's a really good story, and it's about a news team, a reporter and his camera operator. They were sent out to a small town called Junction in Iowa to investigate a murder. And the body was placed in the middle of a small park, and it looks like a ritual killing. So the reporter, whose name is Jesse Phoenix, and his camera operator Nikki Young, they start investigating. They start, they trying to figure out what happened. The sheriff gives a press release where he sort of just overkills the coverage. He says we're forming a task force. That somehow triggers a red flag for Jesse and Nikki because he's over killing it. He's over like you have one murder, you're gonna mobilize the entire task force, a massive task force. It just seems like overkill. So that sort of starts getting them like, well, who was the guy that got killed? Well, they find out his name was Cody Dimmerly, and so they start investigating him, who he was, where he came from, how could he ended up in the park. They arranged a one-on-one with the sheriff, and the sheriff says that it was drug related. It was probably a drug deal gone bad. So and of course Jesse's asking, well, what makes you think this is that? And you can sense the tension between the two. The sheriff just wants to answer some basic questions to get out, and the news crew, they're not, Jesse, he's not just taking it for their word. I mean, it'd be really easy just to sit there and say, "There's no story here. Let's just go home." But he has a sense that there's something more going on than what appears to be. So him and Nikki, they go around and they start poking around. Now we do see some tension between Jesse and Nikki because he's ambitious. He's ambitious, but he's also using her at the same time. And like when he does his reporting, he includes her into it, which she doesn't really appreciate it because she says, "I'm not a prop," and so they have some tension there. It's a working relationship, but Jesse is, he's ambitious. A story like this, it could elevate him to something bigger. Whereas Nikki's very happy to be where she's at. So they do investigate. And they find out the guy's name was Cody, and he was at a bar, and so they go to the bar and they find out that he was with another gentleman the night that he got killed, a guy named Orrin, and so they follow Orrin to this farm that he works at, and if you looked at him, he looks like he'd been in a fight. And he is not a friendly type of guy. He is very antisocial, especially with the media. And he works for the Winstons, Gerard and Peggy. Now, whereas he is really prickly and aggressive, the Winstons are very kind, and and they invite Jesse in to talk, and so as they do that. Then we see another strange twist. We see Orrin calling the sheriff. He says, "You need to get out here to the farm." So now we know something's up, but we still don't know what it is. We go back inside, and Jesse is in there, and he's asking all sorts of questions, and then the sheriff shows up, and he basically says, "What are you guys doing here?" And they says, "Hey, we're just chasing down a story." and the Winstons start telling a story. They start telling a story about their son. Their son had died of an overdose at age 19, and now you sort of get a rumbling of what's maybe going on here, maybe, but you're not really quite sure. Um, well, that is until the sheriff and Gerard have a private conversation that doesn't end up too well for the sheriff. Then we have an idea of what's really going on here, and then they're failed to pay. I'll leave it right there for because it's a quick movie. It's only 74 minutes long, so there's not a whole lot of story. Not a whole lot of time to tell their story, but they do a really good job. Matthew Trimble, he directed this film. He did a really nice job with what he had, and the first thing he had was a really good story. I like the story quite a bit. It carries the film. I like the acting as well. Hats off to the actors who played the Winstons. I thought they were sensational. Very well done. Very, very well done. Michael Moore, who played Oren. Yeah, dude, you got a good chance of becoming a really good bad guy. Don't give up. Keep going. He was fine. And of course, our two leads was Michael Ridley as Jesse Phoenix, and love the name Andromeda Ross, who played Nikki, also was really good too. Now there are a couple of bumps and bruises in this movie. The action scenes really they look like they need a little bit more rehearsal time. They're not very convincing. The fight scenes are not very convincing. You could definitely tell everybody's just going through it slow motion. It's not natural. It distracts from the movie a little bit. It does. I will say that, but not enough to take you out of it. But when you watch the fight scenes, you would definitely notice that there's maybe not a lot of experience there. Like maybe there hasn't directed an action scene or a fight scene or very many. But that will come to Matthew. That if he hasn't already had it, if he hasn't already done that. But that doesn't just, like I said, it doesn't distract from the movie and from the speaking performances from all the leads. So I thought this movie would do, for the budget it had. It looks like it's made on a low budget, but the locations are great. Camera work was great. I thought it was done. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. Well, I saw this movie on TUBI, so I don't have a physical copy of this movie, but you can watch it for free on TUBI, and I highly recommend you do. Don't forget to give it the thumbs up when you go over there, if you like it, and don't forget to rate it as well. Remote is definitely worth your time, and I'm glad to say that I was glad to be able to watch it and review it. All right, that's it for us. If you're new to the channel, hit the sub button, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below. I'll put the link down to the trailer for this film. I'll put that down there, and we will also be talking, well, by the time you hear this, we'll have already been talking to Matthew Trimble on 8 Questions With. That's right, we're talking with Matthew about his film on July 8th. We'll be talking with Matthew. Looking forward to it. It's been a while since we talked to anybody in Iowa, so I'm glad to do it. All right, thanks for watching. Peace.